but
Mhm.
I want a castle.
You got to put it out there.
It's like with me and the Gomites. But yeah, going back to the money, right? So I think that these are all concepts, like all money, right?
Mhm.
And you have like your type of empire where you used to have like these areas or this land, and I think by talking about that, I want my castle. It's like
Okay. Have you
I'm
mentioned
going.
this to the audience before? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think
No.
so.
Okay.
It's like I do want. I don't know if I want it in Paris or Spain or Italy. I'm still debating, but
Mhm.
I want a castle.
You got to put it out there.
It's like with me and the Gomites. I don't think that Katie likes that name, right? Like I need
The
to figure
Gomites.
out the Chateau
Uh,
Gomez.
uh, Gomai, maybe Gomai. That's the plural, right?
I
Uh,
have no idea because the Gomez Ramirez is like it has already the Z, so maybe you cannot do the plural. I
Ramirai.
have, yeah, I have no idea on it, but stay tuned. I'm looking in Christie's the castles.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. I've run across a lot of YouTube channels where they go, I guess they purchase a castle and they like renovate it and things like that. Because a lot of them can even be like abandoned castles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
so,
it's just a fixer upper.
a little fixer upper, right? Well, that's something else. I mean, that's pretty interesting. What do you like about castles, by the way?
Why not? It's like one of those things that is like a lot of history. I like kind of history. I like humanity. I understand the kind of the concepts around it, right? Um, I don't know. It's some of the old traditions too, right? There's a lot of it, right, around it, and it's just it feels to me that some of these are abandoned and they shouldn't. They shouldn't be
Mm.
abandoned. It's like there is a lot of rich history on them, right? So it attracts me. I think that is
Yeah.
just one of those like an his preference, like why somebody would choose a Cybertruck versus a Ferrari versus a Lambo, right? It's just
Hmm.
preference, and I
For
just want
sure.
my castle.
Yeah, I agree with you on that about the historical significance. I like appreciate that work or building something that stands time, right? And those castles are still there. They may be abandoned, but that's because they were built to last, right? And it just
Yeah,
needs to be restored back to their original grandeur and like make them look beautiful again. So I'm all about that. I love taking something that is kind of old and bringing it back to life. I like kind of building things. So I totally agree with that sentiment. It's pretty cool.
have you heard this thing? It's like if you are doing something with your hands, you're a laborer. If you are putting some of your brain and your hands, the combination is you're a craftsman. All right. But if
Mhm.
you're putting literally your brain, your heart, and your hands, then you're an artist.
Ah, I like
so
it.
so I'm an artist.
That's pretty cool. No, I haven't heard that. That's awesome. That's really nice. But yeah, I think that would be an awesome project. Yeah, maybe you can start your YouTube channel when you find one and start restoring it. You get one of those other
As
channels going, right?
restoring that would be a good project.
It's a long
But yeah,
project.
it's a long project.
Yeah.
But going back to reach all money, um, I think that there is a concept here on trying to see abundance, and I try to teach my kids this aspect because it's very hard to to grasp. And sometimes you hear. And by the way, when we are talking about this, trust me, we are not about trying to show off or anything like that. It's not about that. But I think that is more about that is possible, right? And I think that it starts with your mindset on trying to figure out, because sometimes some people might not think that it can be possible, or might be that it's like how in the heck they did it, right? And I
Mhm.
think that the way that you need to see it is there is an abundance everywhere. um, Maybe you can see, well, there is not a lot of gold. I agree, but you might actually see a whole like meteorite and it has a chunk of gold, and it's like how many of those are, how many stars, right? And it's just unlimited, right? Almost. So I think that kind of unlocks the thinking of having an abundance mindset. What's your take
Yeah.
there on abundance?
I like that thought. I would say, like, growing up, I didn't necessarily see it like monetary abundance and opulence and stuff like that, right? Most people don't see that, right? And so I think I saw maybe some splashes of it, though I didn't understand it in context once I got into high school. I saw some friends had a little bit more than others, right? And just kind of seeing uh, what is possible and seeing that, hey, we're all normal people and stuff like this is possible. Of course, now I know, as an adult, like seeing kind of where some of these homes were and things like that is like, okay, like they were really doing really well. And now I kind of understand in context. But I will tell you, like, remember I went to Boston not too long ago, earlier in the year, and we went to Rhode Island. And Rhode Island is where they have all of these mansions. And they're on this TV show called Gilded Age, which, if you're into like that Downton Abbey
Mhm.
show, you might like Gilded Age. I think it's on HBO. I believe there's a couple of seasons. Pretty interesting. But they have these just huge mansions, and when we visited them, because you can do like a tour of these mansions over there. Highly recommended. It's just like, you don't understand that when these were built, how much money it actually took to build them.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money, like they must have been more than just billionaires, like multi-billionaire, tens billionaires, right? Like, to be able to afford this stuff and be able to build these things. These estates, right, are just huge, and it's like whole city blocks worth of an estate, and you have these huge mansions, and they're not like there's not that they just have lots of rooms. It's just like all the detail that's built into them, all the, like, the paneling, all of the gold leafing, the chandeliers, how big they are, the size of the windows. I mean, I guess also, like, having built my home, right, I understand like how much, like, man, how much this costs, and then extrapolating to, like, holy shit, like,
like
how did they
like
even
300
afford that?
windows,
Like,
right?
it's like, it just like really doesn't compute. It's really
Yes.
hard to fathom, like, what it took to build those things. And again, those things stand the test of time, right? They've been there for, 100 years, or, almost a couple 100 years, or whatever the case is. And it's really interesting to see that, those homes, and they're just amazing, highly opulent. They're right on, like, the water, so they have these views.
Hmm.
They have all this land, where, at least like in the city, we've got like this little chunk, 10,000, 20,000 square feet of land, whereas over there they have like just massive, like, hills and stuff, and on the beach. It was very crazy. So that opened my eyes, like. But speaking on, like, abundance, it's like you have to become aware of it, right?
Hmm.
If you don't become aware of it, you don't really know that it's there, it's available, and maybe you don't have something to strive towards. So I think that's part of it, is like, um, see what's out there, become aware of what's out there, see if there's something that you like, and then, like, pinpoint it and say, that's my goal. You may not get to that goal, but you might get close to it, right? Whether it's say
Yeah.
reach for the stars, land on the moon, or something like that. It's kind of that same philosophy. So, I growing up, I didn't think too much in that way. And now I'm just like, okay, well, my nieces and nephews, like, I want to make sure that they're aware of what's possible, so that, as they start figuring out what their dreams are, they're able to see what can be done for them, or what they can aspire to.
And I think that sometimes it's traveling. Like you just went to Rhode Island, right? So If you go to Europe, it's like you see this, right? Maybe my castle has to be in Europe, right? France, Italy, Spain, who knows, right?
Yeah.
So I think that that also gives you perspective, which is just different perspectives.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think I've mentioned it before that like I'm interested in getting like the multiple passports, and you're like, are you a
So
spy? Or are you like
you're gonna be a passport bro.
passport bro? Yeah.
Dude,
Uh,
I tell Katie, and she gets so angry. My wife, it's like, Katie, I'm a citizen of the world, and she's like, no, you need to find a home. It's like, no, I'm like, I have a Jewish heritage.
I've got the Ashkenazi. What is it? The
I have to ask, yeah,
0.2%
like
of the
exactly, like,
DNA.
but yeah, I think that it's my point here is like it's part of that abundance, right? If you're in a place, look, I love America, I move over here. Texas is awesome, right? But if things start changing, that is not good for me and my family, right? Like, hey, it's like, or safe, right? Like, let's say that there is a war or something like that, right? You have to have a plan B or C, right? Obviously, there for me, I have citizenship as well in Mexico, right? But
Mhm.
I think that there is a chance for me as well to get a European passport because my grandma is from Spain. So um, yeah, and it's like, why not? Why not to use these passports, right? And and sometimes it doesn't take that much to do, right? Like I just to do the paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Especially if like Mexico, right? Like my parents born in Mexico, so I should be able to get Mexican citizenship. It's just about the paperwork. And then also like you mentioned, the Spanish. I think I have Italian on some of my side, but I think it's in my great grandparents. And so I can't I'm not sure how that would work if I would be able to inherit. I don't know if they allow it that
Do you
far.
have also Ashkenazi? Probably, right?
Yeah, maybe I might be able. Oh, yes, I do, but I don't think I can inherit any type of citizenship with that I know of. Yeah, I mean those DNA leaks. Now everybody knows. It's on the dark web, right?
It's on the dark web. Like all your information and DNA. Is like they might be able to clone you. Oh, baby Jesus, help us.
I don't know. Well, I think these are really interesting topics. Anything else you want to say about this abundance and your
No,
plant
we'll keep touching base on this topic because I think that it's just it's always different perspective, right? To be able to look different ways.
Yeah. Well, everybody, I think that's all what that we've got for today. I just want to encourage y'all to like, subscribe, and comment. We love seeing the engagement. It's really fun. I want to do a shout out to my friends, Raul, Jay, Leo. You guys have been commenting and letting me know how much you guys enjoy the content. So I just want to make sure you guys know that we appreciate y'all. Mando.
Yeah, shout out to Jason. It's like he has been helping us to shape the pod, to give some structure. So thank you.
Yeah. So again, appreciate it. Happy New Year. We'll see y'all next time. We'll see you sin miedo.
Dale, bye.